You're not tired. You're distracted. You're not out of chances. You're simply out of focus, pulled in 1,000 directions by a world designed to steal your attention. You've been told life is short, but that's a lie. Life isn't short, it's just wasted. It slips through your fingers not because there isn't enough of it, but because too much of it is traded away for distractions, for false priorities, for cheap moments that feel good now, but leave you empty later. In the age of endless scrolling, people are more invested in curating a highlight reel for social media than in crafting a life of substance. And that's the root of the modern disease. We decorate our digital profiles while letting our actual lives rot beneath layers of distraction and avoidance. We live in an era where it's normal to spend 3 hours on a screen and complain about not having time for goals. The truth is harsh but necessary. You're not a victim of time. You're a volunteer in its misuse. I'm not saying this to belittle you. I say it because I lived that same lie, that same lazy illusion where I confused being busy with being purposeful. Time punished me for it. You see, the world teaches us how to chase credentials, memorize formulas, follow orders, and seek validation, but no one teaches us how to value time, the one thing that, once lost, is never returned. You can rebuild money, recover from failure, heal a broken relationship, or even start over at any age, but you can never reclaim lost time. One moment wasted is gone forever, and yet we give it away like it means nothing. To mindless scrolling, to empty conversations, to habits that numb rather than build. And what's worse, we let it happen daily, silently, unconsciously, like lambs walking toward the slaughter, eyes open yet unaware. We guard our money from thieves, our homes with locks, our phones with passwords. But our time, we leave the door wide open and even hold it for the thieves that come in the form of social media, laziness, procrastination, and the seductive lie of just a few minutes more. If you counted the minutes you lost today, just today, to distraction, you'd be horrified. Most people are not overwhelmed because life is too much. They are overwhelmed because their discipline is too little. They drown not in deep waters, but in shallow ones, in habits that kill ambition by 1,000 tiny cuts. They confuse activity with achievement, staying busy but making no real progress, running fast in circles, and calling it effort. Let me ask you something hard. If someone broke into your house every day and stole a little money, you'd eventually stop them. But when distractions rob your time, your future, your energy, you let them in and offer them coffee. That's the insanity of it. And yet it's so normal that we don't even question it. I didn't grow up with money. I didn't have elite degrees or a fancy background or the right connections. But I learned one lesson early. If I couldn't beat others in privilege or resources, I could beat them in time. I chose to use time like a weapon, a sword I sharpened through discipline. I skipped parties to study. I gave up weekends to build. I woke up early and read when others watched Netflix. Every hour I gained, I invested in something that paid me back with growth. While others chased fun, I chased mastery. While others waited for the right moment, I created moments. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they waste time. They waste it casually, carelessly, constantly. Wasting just 1 hour a day adds up to 365 hours a year. That's over 15 entire days gone. What could you do with 15 full days? You could build a side hustle, learn a new language, transform your body, build deeper relationships, read 15 books, or start a podcast. But instead, those hours vanish one YouTube video at a time, one useless conversation at a time, one, I'll do it tomorrow, at a time, and people wonder why they feel stuck. The truth is not that you don't have time. The truth is you're not choosing it. After work isn't rest time, it's building time. Your job pays the bills, but your after hours build your life. If you come home and sink into the couch, scrolling for 2 hours, complaining for another, and falling asleep on your potential, don't ask why your dreams are still on pause. You're feeding comfort and starving your future. You must train your brain to see time differently, to see minutes as diamonds, precious and powerful. 5 minutes wasted here, 10 minutes there, and suddenly a week is gone, and with it, your progress. The scariest part is time doesn't scream when you kill it. It dies quietly. It doesn't beg to be used. It just disappears, silently, until your regret speaks louder than your discipline ever did. And the harshest truth: nobody is coming to save your time. You have to do it. You have to become the guardian of your own clock. Because the world is not slowing down. It's getting faster, louder, more distracting. If you don't take control, you'll be pulled in every direction but your own. If you don't create your plan, someone else will use your time to execute theirs. You must build routines so strong they can carry you through days when motivation is nowhere to be found. You must learn to say no to people, to noise, to low-value tasks, to distractions that don't build you. Because every yes to something useless is a no to something important. You only get 24 hours a day, no more, no less. And how you use them is the clearest mirror of your priorities. You want to change your life. Don't start with your goals. Start with your calendar. Start with 1 hour. Reclaim 1 lost hour a day, and in a year you'll have the time most people dream about. Success is not found in grand gestures. It's found in small, consistent disciplines that compound over time. Stop waiting. Start tracking. Be ruthless about where your minutes go. Because if you don't respect your time, no one else will. Time, not talent, is the ultimate competitive edge, and you're wasting it. People love to say they're busy, but busy doesn't impress me. Everybody's busy. The real question is, busy doing what? Are you busy building something that matters? Or busy avoiding the discomfort of growth? Are you busy chasing purpose, or just running from boredom? Most people don't lack energy. They lack intention. They aren't overwhelmed. They're unorganized, undisciplined, and distracted. You don't need more time, you need more focus. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to start moving in the right direction and stick to it long enough to see results. The biggest lie you've ever been sold is that you'll get to it later. But later is a thief. Later steals dreams. Later becomes never. Every time you delay the work, you choose comfort over greatness. And the world is full of people who will die with their potential still inside them, buried under years of waiting for the perfect moment. The truth is, most of us aren't losing to failure. We're losing to hesitation, to excuses disguised as reasons, to habits we know are killing our goals but feel too addicted to stop. The reason you're not where you want to be has less to do with your talent or circumstances and more to do with how you've used your time. You're not unlucky. You're just distracted. Distraction is the silent killer of dreams. It doesn't announce its damage like failure does. It just slowly pulls you away from your vision until one day you wake up and realize you're nowhere near where you thought you'd be. The worst part: you can't even remember what you spent all that time on. You just know it's gone. I've seen people waste entire decades chasing temporary highs, only to spend their later years haunted by permanent regret. And it's not because they didn't care. It's because they didn't plan. They didn't guard their minutes. They didn't realize how much power there was in each hour they let slip by. Time management isn't about squeezing more tasks into your day. It's about aligning your day with your priorities. It's about saying no without guilt. It's about designing your environment to reduce friction between you and your goals. It's about taking control of your inputs so your outputs aren't left to chance. You are either controlling your time or being controlled by it. There is no neutral. If you don't build your life intentionally, you will live one by default. A life built from other people's expectations, from society's script, from the path of least resistance. But the path of least resistance leads to the life of least fulfillment. You don't become great by coasting. You become great by carving your time into blocks of deep work, focused learning, intentional rest, and meaningful progress. Stop blaming your job, your past, your responsibilities. Yes, you're tired. Yes, you're busy. But those aren't excuses. They're obstacles. And every obstacle can be overcome with the right mindset and system. You need to become the architect of your time, not a passive tenant. Design your day around what matters. Track your habits. Audit your calendar. Look at where your hours go. Because where your time goes, your life follows. 1 hour a day on the wrong thing adds up to 365 lost hours a year. 1 hour a day spent building adds up to 365 hours of transformation. That's the difference between staying stuck and getting unstuck. That's the difference between average and exceptional. But most people won't do it. They'll keep blaming motivation, waiting for energy, thinking discipline is something you're born with instead of something you train like a muscle. They'll keep looking for hacks and shortcuts and secrets instead of showing up day after day and putting in the real work. Here's a hard truth. Your phone is not just a tool. It's a trap, and you're walking into it willingly every day. Those notifications, those reels, those feeds, they are not free. They cost you attention, energy, clarity, and time. And in return, they give you nothing of real value. You scroll to escape, to avoid, to numb the pain of not being where you want to be. But that avoidance is the very thing keeping you stuck. If you want to grow, you have to get uncomfortable. You have to embrace boredom, stillness, deep focus. You have to do the things that matter even when they aren't fun. You have to learn to sit in a room with your thoughts, with your vision, and do the quiet work that compounds. Greatness is not built in loud moments. It's built in silent ones. It's built in the mornings you wake up early to write, the nights you stay up learning, the weekends you say no to parties and yes to progress. Success is found in the grind you do, when no one is watching. It's found in the invisible effort that feels like it's going nowhere until suddenly, one day, it breaks through. And by then, the world will call you lucky, not knowing how many hours you fought for it. So if you feel like you're behind, good. Use that feeling. Let it fuel you, not freeze you. Let it become the fire that pushes you to protect your time like your future depends on it. Because it does. Every hour you waste is a seed you never planted, a step you never took, a chance you didn't give yourself. But every hour you reclaim is a step closer to the life you actually want. You don't need a miracle. You need a calendar. You need a plan. You need to own your mornings. Defend your evenings. Schedule your priorities instead of prioritizing your distractions. You need to look at each day and ask, is this moving me forward or keeping me still? Because time is not passive, it's active. It's always working, always moving, always ticking. And it is either working for you or against you. That's the truth. That's the power. That's the responsibility. You get 24 hours just like everyone else. The winners are not the ones who got more time. They're the ones who used it better. So the next time you say, I'm too busy, stop and ask yourself, busy with what? Because if you're not busy building, you're busy breaking. Your future is either being built with the bricks of your current habits, or it's being buried under the rubble of your current distractions. Choose wisely. Because time is watching, and it does not give second chances. Let me ask you something most people never stop to consider. If someone came into your life every day and stole a little bit of your money, would you allow it? No, of course not. You'd confront them, protect your wallet, install alarms, even involve the police. But when it comes to time, your most valuable, irreplaceable asset, you let the theft happen in silence every single day by distractions you allow, by habits you don't question, by routines that are built on avoidance instead of ambition. The truth is painful, but simple time is being robbed from you, and you are holding the door open for the thief. The scrolling, the gossip, the endless consumption of content that does nothing for your growth. All of it feels small in the moment, but it compounds into something massive over the years. Wasted potential, missed opportunities, and a life you barely recognize. You need to realize that time doesn't scream when it's dying. It dies quietly, but its death echoes loudly in your results, in your regrets, in your what-ifs. When you're not intentional about your time, you become a passive character in your own story, watching chapters go by without meaning, without depth, without progress. You may say you want change, but change is not born from wishing. It is born from action, from strategy, from hard decisions made daily. You have to stop waiting for perfect conditions, for a magical surge of motivation, for a sign that it's your moment. Your moment is now. Every second you spend waiting is a second someone else is using to get ahead. And trust me, someone out there is reading the book you refuse to pick up. Someone is starting the project you've been putting off. Someone is training while you're scrolling. They're not more talented. They're more consistent. They're not more gifted. They're more focused. Discipline is the great equalizer, and the people who win are those who build routines that don't rely on how they feel. They show up even when they don't want to, especially when they don't want to, because they understand a fundamental truth: success doesn't come from how you feel. It comes from what you do consistently. When I was building my career, I didn't feel inspired every morning. I wasn't energized by the universe. I didn't have people cheering me on. What I had was a decision to show up anyway, to plan my time when others drifted, to work in silence while others played in noise, to focus not on how I felt in the moment, but on who I wanted to become in the future. And that's the shift you must make. You have to think in terms of legacy, not laziness. You have to understand that every small sacrifice you make today plants the seeds of greatness tomorrow. Every time you say no to a distraction, you say yes to your destiny. Every time you resist the easy path, you build the muscle of focus. And that muscle, once strong, becomes your superpower in a world addicted to dopamine, to shortcuts, to surface level success. You need to detach from the noise and return to the core of what you truly want. Not what looks good online, not what impresses strangers, but what fills your soul, what builds your life, what makes you proud when you go to sleep at night. That only happens when you start treating time as sacred. You must block your calendar like your future depends on it, because it does. You must say no like your life depends on it, because it does. Every meeting you don't need, every event that drains you, every hour you spend with people who don't challenge you, that's time gone, energy lost, opportunity missed. You don't get it back. Life does not refund the careless. It only rewards the disciplined. People talk about wanting a better future, but they forget that the future is built in the minutes you overlook today. The hours you waste are the bricks you failed to lay, and the structure of your life, whether it's strong or crumbling, is entirely your responsibility. This is not about guilt. This is about awareness. When you become aware, you can change. When you truly understand how much time you've lost, you can decide never to lose it again. Let me tell you something else most people won't say out loud: your environment matters more than your willpower. If you are surrounded by people who waste time, you will too. If you live in chaos, your mind will follow. You must design an environment that supports your focus, not sabotages it. That means cutting out energy vampires. That means setting boundaries like your peace matters. That means creating systems that make doing the right thing easier than doing the wrong thing. Your environment is your invisible hand. It either pushes you forward or pulls you down. So change your environment, change your circle, change your inputs. You can't expect greatness if you're feeding your mind garbage. You can't expect growth if your hours are being spent numbing, avoiding, and escaping. You must face your time with brutal honesty. Ask yourself daily, where did my time go? Did it build something? Or did it feed my weakness? The answers will sting, but the clarity will set you free. You are not stuck. You're just untrained. You are not behind. You're just unfocused. And the moment you start respecting time like a currency you can't print more of, your life will begin to shift. You will start saying no faster. You will begin scheduling your dreams instead of just fantasizing about them. You will protect your mornings like gold. You will transform every commute, every break, every idle moment into something powerful, a chance to build instead of escape. This is not about becoming obsessed with productivity for its own sake. It's about becoming obsessed with alignment, aligning your actions with your ambition. Every minute spent in alignment is a minute that multiplies. Every minute spent out of alignment is a minute that disappears. Time doesn't pause. It doesn't rewind. It doesn't wait for you to get ready. So stop waiting. Start now. Reclaim your hours before they become your regrets. Build a calendar that reflects your priorities, not your distractions. Choose discipline over desire, structure over chaos, creation over consumption. Time is neutral. It favors no one, but it reveals everyone. It will expose your excuses or showcase your effort. It will either amplify your greatness or magnify your mediocrity. And the choice every single day is yours. Don't say you don't have time. Say you're choosing something else. And then decide if that choice is worth your future. Because one day, you'll look back, and the story of your life will be nothing but a reflection of how you used or wasted your time. Let me be absolutely clear. If you're still waiting for motivation to carry you forward, you're already behind. Motivation is fleeting, inconsistent, and often missing when you need it the most. The champions, the leaders, the creators of the world didn't win because they felt inspired every day. They won because they mastered discipline. Discipline is the system you fall back on when your feelings fail you. It is the backbone of success, the silent force that drives progress when the crowd is gone and the energy fades. I've met people who could outtalk me, outsmile me, outsmart me in the short term, but they could never outlast me because I knew how to show up when I didn't want to, how to work when it wasn't exciting, how to execute when it wasn't easy. That is the game. That's how you win. If you rely on how you feel, you will build nothing that lasts. Because feelings are weather. They change by the hour. But your calendar, your plan, your priorities, those are your anchors. You don't build a future on excitement. You build it on habits. You don't earn freedom by chasing comfort. You earn it by embracing structure. You don't get better by wishing. Only by working, by doing the unglamorous, uncelebrated, often invisible grind. People often say they'll start when they feel ready. But readiness is a myth. No one ever feels truly ready to change, to commit, to become something greater. Growth is uncomfortable by design. If you feel safe, you're probably standing still. The ones who succeed are not braver. They're just quicker to take the first step. They act while others are hesitating. They build while others are doubting. They plant seeds every day, knowing the harvest takes time, but trusting the process anyway. Let me remind you, every second of your life is a seed. What you plant today becomes the result you live tomorrow. And the thing about seeds is they don't care about your intentions, only your actions. You can want change with your whole heart, but if your habits don't reflect that, nothing changes. You can pray for success, visualize success, journal about success, but if you're not making time to work, study, build, fail, reflect, and repeat, then you're just decorating your inaction with dreams. That's the brutal truth. And time doesn't care about your story. It doesn't adjust for your excuses. It doesn't wait for you to find your spark. While you hesitate, someone else is using those same hours to build momentum. They're reading while you scroll. They're creating while you consume. They're crafting their legacy while you're repeating yesterday. And 5 years from now, that difference will be undeniable. Time multiplies what you feed it. Consistency or chaos, progress or procrastination. That's why you need to stop measuring your days by how they feel and start measuring them by what you produced, what you learned, what you moved forward. Even one brick laid is progress. Even one page read, one idea captured, one distraction resisted. That's how you win. Not all at once, but gradually, quietly, with discipline as your compass. You see, discipline doesn't just shape your schedule, it shapes your identity. Every time you follow through, you reinforce a powerful message to yourself. I am someone who follows through. I do hard things. I keep my word to myself. And over time, that identity becomes unshakable. You stop needing permission, motivation, or validation. You act, because action becomes who you are. And the more you act, the more momentum you build. Suddenly, you don't have to force yourself to get up early, to block distractions, to focus deeply. It becomes normal. It becomes expected. Because you have proven to yourself, repeatedly, that you can trust yourself. Most people never reach this place. They break promises to themselves too often. They start and stop. They burst with energy for a few days and then disappear into excuses. But the winners, the real winners, build consistency that makes their progress inevitable. They know that some days will be boring. Some days will feel like failure. Some days will be lonely, hard, repetitive. But they show up anyway. Not because it feels good, but because it matters. This is what separates amateurs from professionals in life. Amateurs wait to feel like it. Professionals build systems that keep them aligned regardless of how they feel. This is true in business, in health, in relationships, in every domain of life that requires real effort. And the secret isn't complicated, it's showing up when it's hard. It's doing the work even when no one is clapping. It's making decisions based on your goals, not your mood. If you do that long enough, the results will come. The respect will come. The rewards will come. But you have to outlast the early discomfort. You have to keep moving even when the results are invisible. That's the hidden cost of greatness: patience. Trusting that the work you're doing now, in silence, is shaping a future you can't yet see. Because time is always moving, always shaping. The question is, what are you letting it shape? A masterpiece or a mess? If you want to know your future, look at your current calendar. What are you giving your time to? Where does your energy go? Who gets your attention? If you don't like the answer, change it. Rebuild your routine. Protect your schedule like it's sacred, because it is. The hours you waste now will echo later as regret, fatigue, limitation. But the hours you invest now will echo as confidence, freedom, and power. Don't wait for the world to hand you your dream. It never will. Build it hour by hour, day by day, through structure, sacrifice, and self-respect. Because time doesn't belong to the distracted. It belongs to the disciplined. And if you can master your time, you can master your life. When people say, "I'll start tomorrow," they don't realize they're gambling with the most dangerous illusion ever created. The illusion of time. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Readiness is not guaranteed. And yet millions of people lose their dreams to the lie that they have time to spare. They say they'll start next week, next month, next year. When things calm down, when life gets easier, when they feel more prepared. But those tomorrows stack up into years of lost potential, missed opportunities, and lives half-lived. Let me tell you something many will only understand. When it's too late, the cost of waiting is always more painful than the cost of starting. You do not get to press rewind on your time. You do not get to replay your 20s, your 30s, your 40s. Time does not forgive passivity. It rewards action. It honors those who decide to move forward, even when they're uncertain, afraid, or under pressure. And the reality is, you will never be fully ready. You will never feel completely confident. The people who win in life are not the ones who had everything figured out. They are the ones who started before they felt ready, before the fear disappeared, before the stars aligned. They understood that time does not bend for hesitation. It flows forward, cold and indifferent, and the only way to make it work for you is to meet it with urgency, discipline, and clarity. You see, 5 years from now, you could have built an entirely different life. You could have created a business, transformed your health, elevated your skills, deepened your relationships, and gained financial freedom. Or 5 years from now, you could be sitting in the exact same place, doing the exact same things, telling yourself the exact same story about why now isn't the time. And the only difference will be what you did with your hours. That's it. Time is the most honest scoreboard life gives us. It never lies. It always tells the truth. And in the end, your outcomes won't be a reflection of your dreams. They'll be a reflection of your decisions. If you're in your 20s, don't waste these years chasing trends, approval, or surface-level status. Build skills. Fail often, learn fast, cultivate grit. If you're in your 30s, stop living just to pay bills. Start building something that belongs to you. Not just your employer, not just your resume, but your vision. If you're in your 40s, it's time to stop playing defense with your life. Mentor others. Scale your impact. Refuse to coast. If you're in your 50s or 60s, never say it's too late. As long as you're breathing, time is still your ally. Every day is another chance to lead, teach, learn, serve, and grow. The truth is, the clock doesn't care about your age. It only cares how you use what's left. Every second you receive is a seed. Plant distractions, and you'll harvest regrets. Plant discipline, and you'll harvest legacy. Your life becomes your garden. It either grows wild and wasted or beautiful and intentional. The choice is always yours. And make no mistake, the world is full of people planting distractions. Gossip, laziness, shallow conversations, emotional numbing, dopamine addiction. That's normal now. But if you want to be exceptional, you must plant differently. Plant focus. Plant knowledge. Plant consistency. Plant solitude, silence, and self-control. Water them daily with effort, with time blocks, with reading, journaling, stretching, building. And in 5 years, while others are pulling weeds of regret, you'll be walking through a garden of achievement. People will say you're lucky. They'll say you changed overnight. But you'll know the truth. You just made time your friend instead of your enemy. You stopped saying, "I don't have time," and started saying, "I will make time." That's the shift. That's the moment everything begins to change. Because when you stop seeing time as a burden and start seeing it as a tool, a weapon. You unlock a level of power most people never touch. You build a life where your hours flow toward your dreams, not away from them. You become intentional about what you say yes to. You build boundaries around your calendar. You simplify your life. You optimize your energy. You live on purpose. Most people won't understand this. They'll call it obsessive. They'll say you're doing too much. But that's only because they're doing too little, and they don't want the mirror you hold up by living differently. But ignore them. Protect your vision. Guard your goals. Refuse to apologize for taking your life seriously. Because the truth is, no one is coming to rescue your time. If you don't fight for it, you'll lose it. If you don't claim your schedule, someone else will fill it with their priorities. That's the silent tragedy of modern life. People are exhausted, not from doing too much, but from doing too little of what matters. They are tired, not because they're weak, but because they're unaligned. If you want peace, clarity, impact, and joy, start with your time. Rebuild your days. Fall in love with planning. Track your habits. Get obsessed with momentum. Build a life where every hour is a vote for the person you want to become. Because the final truth is this: you will not be remembered for how many followers you had, how many likes you got, or how many trends you kept up with. You will be remembered for what you did with your time. Did you waste it? Or did you use it to build, to serve, to grow, to lead, to create something that outlasted you? Time is not just ticking, it is writing your biography. Every second is a sentence. Every minute is a paragraph. Every hour is a chapter. And one day, your story will end. What will it say? My advice is simply stop living like time is infinite. It's not. Stop living like your dreams can wait. They can't. Stop living like you have nothing to lose. You do. You have everything to gain by getting serious, getting focused, getting clear. Make time or regret it. Show up or get left behind. Act now or live with what if. That's the law of time. It rewards those who respect it. It punishes those who waste it. And it never, ever gives refunds. So get up, get disciplined, get focused, and don't stop. Not tomorrow, not next week, not ever. Until your time reflects your vision, your schedule reflects your values, and your life reflects the greatness you are always capable of becoming.